So let's just recap of what we've been talking about. This month has been focused on personal relationships and the romantic type of relationships, and those people looking to get married, to settle down, not the casual relationships, but more on intentional dating. Um, Today's topic is why some women can't find a man.
Mm,
The topic
interesting.
itself, the title of the topic, the word find right there kind of jumps out at me because I believe women shouldn't be finding men. We got to stop chasing men. We should be choosing the right man. And that takes some pre-thought. When it comes to deciding who to marry, one has to first know themselves. What are you looking for? And it goes beyond compatibility. We always hear, find someone compatible. I think Be Real a couple of weeks ago in our episode on social media, the impacts of social media on relationships, you mentioned you used an example of a couple who was dating online, long distance, right? And they were compatible online and long distance, but when they came face to face, they realized that compatibility went out the window.
Mhm.
When you're married over time, compatibility goes out the window because people evolve, we grow, we shift, and sometimes we don't always do it at the same time, right? One might evolve into something faster or quicker than the other one. It takes the other one time to catch up. So I think that instead of looking for compatibility, we need to look for someone who's going to complete you.
Mm,
But one of the things that comes to mind is why women are choosing incorrectly is setting unrealistic expectations, setting expectations that are too high or rigid, and their partner just can't live up to that or feels like they can't live up to that. They already disqualify themselves. One of the examples that that comes to mind is Taraji P. Henson in Think Like a Man. Remember that movie?
mm,
Where she was the independent one that had the high paying job, the big career, and her main problem was her priorities and her standards were too high, and she ended up falling in love with the chef. Uh,
mm,
so, and at first he was below her, right? That was her thinking that he just didn't live up to her standards, but he actually was the one that was designed for her. And ladies, we got to remember our careers are just that, our careers. They satisfy us. I'm all for women power and women going out and starting their own businesses and all of that. But remember that that has nothing to do with a man. It's not, it does nothing for him. It's not significant for him. It's our career. It satisfies us. And that's just what it is. You Be real, being out there in the dating scene, do you see this a lot? Unrealistic expectations.
I see it all the time. And Vanessa, like I was telling you before, I look at a lot of content in the morning to kind of see, what people are talking about, what they're interested in. And one of the things I see over and over is women saying that you need to match my income and match, who I am from a career standpoint. So if I'm making $100,000, he needs me making, and actually have a percentage as
Mm.
to what women are looking for. It's like 120% of what they're making. So if I'm making $100,000, you need to be making 120 or above, or you don't qualify, which is which is
Really?
complete nonsense.
That technical, where it's down to a percentage.
Yes, because what you're saying is you're not really looking at a man's character. You're not really looking at his morals, his beliefs, his leadership. You're simply putting a price tag on this man and saying, okay, I want to live a certain lifestyle. I want the BMW in the Mercedes in the driveway. I want the 4,000 square foot home or larger. All these things that you have in your mind. I want to be able to purchase the Gucci shoes and the Birkin bags and all this stuff. And so now, if I can't find a man that can provide that for me, suddenly he's not qualified, and it's just absolute nonsense. Basing who your future husband or your significant other is going to be based on just solely on finances and money and how much money he makes is absolutely ridiculous to me, Vanessa.
So what I'm hearing is I'd rather live this certain lifestyle, have the car in the yard, the big house, but My spouse doesn't necessarily have to be there. He can be out with everybody else. He can be fooling around. He can, beat me.
Oh
There's
God.
no, I mean, what are
Yeah.
we doing? We're
You
trading
know, I
real
you
characteristics.
know, and I think that's something that, a lot of women will forego, all of those things, or more or less dismiss all of those things, or not really put that high on the list. But I think for the most part, most women are looking for a guy who comes with the whole package. Okay. And to be honest with you, the six foot guy who is making the six figures, and they call it 666, okay,
Mhm.
who has the six-pack abs, to be honest with you, for most of you, he doesn't exist. Okay. And for most of you, you don't qualify because you're looking for a man that, to be honest with you, 100% of the women are looking at. Okay. So
Mm.
100% of the women are only looking at 20% of the men. So
Right.
you're dismissing the other 80% and saying they're not on your level. Okay. Where that good man that you're looking for that's going to treat you right might be making 80K a year. Okay. Or he may be working for the post office or working for UPS. And what you should be looking at as a female, in my opinion, is finding somebody that you can build with, someone that's a leader, someone that's going to be a father to your children, someone who you can grow long term with. Okay, these are things that we should be looking for, and not necessarily basing everything on finances and money and lifestyle.
Wow. Wow, that's a lot to deal with out there today.